Hey, so just imagine this, the cognitive dissonance that we've all been through and that the children have been through during this, what I call a gestational spell, of being told it's like this. You have people who will come up to you, and if they're feeling insecure that day, or your energy is a bit much for them, and they always feel a bit insecure around you in particular, they'll come up to you and say, "Are you poorly? Oh, you look tired. Are you poorly? Oh, are you exhausted? Oh, you look so tired. Are you sure you're okay?" And at first, you've started that day thinking, "I feel great. I'm good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling healthy." And then you have somebody say that to you, and you think, "Oh, damn, do I look that bad? Is there something wrong? Do I feel poorly? Was that a niggle before? Am I a bit hot? Do I look wrecked? Did I sleep last night?" And you instinctively start questioning yourself after knowing that you walked out of the house feeling great, feeling full of energy, knowing that you went poorly, knowing that you felt and looked good, and this person comes up to you under the guise of care and love and says, "Oh, you should go home and rest." What does that do for that person if you go home and rest? Well, if they're insecure about you and if they're insecure about how powerful and dynamic you are, then that's going to do a lot if you do as you're told and go home and rest. It keeps you locked up in a house. It diminishes your power. It diminishes your feeling of greatness that day. So it's important when we come across those pesky little people in life that we are strong enough to say, no, I bind those words up and I revert back to the feeling that I had before this person opened their damn mouth. And at this point, you can transmute that energy and say, "But I know why they're saying it though, because I look damn good. I don't just look good, I look damn good. I don't just feel good, I feel damn good. I'm not just a little bit powerful. I'm a superhero." And so this is where we have to be strong enough to do this. Now, during this gestational spell, the many unfortunately have not. So we're obviously dealing with many insecurities, as we all do, but out of balance, out of the normal balance, because we've, in too many numbers, just done as we're told, in the fear of something that hadn't even entered into our consciousness before it started getting rammed down our throats through propaganda, through social media, through mainstream media. You might not be showing any symptoms, but you've probably got it. You might not be even, it's a sneaky little thing. It's terrible for your health, but you don't necessarily have to see any symptoms. No, no, no. You've still probably got it. And then we have the cognitive dissonance of being stupid enough to go for tests, even though all of the research was pointing towards said tests not working for said reason they were being used for. Even out of Boris's own mouth, they're in a ridiculous percent. What did he quote? 97% or something, failure. Because they're not made for what they're saying they're made for, and they're not made to be used as they're saying that they're using them. And so by doubting ourselves, by not being close enough to ourselves to trust our own body, to know that what it feels like when we're getting poorly, having probably been poorly in our life before, knowing what it feels like to feel run down. I didn't sleep last night, that's the reason. Or knowing what it feels like to feel a bit breathless. I'm bunged up, so I'm getting less oxygen. Prior to this gestational spell, most of us would have been sensible enough to just, take into account the symptoms, take into account the non-symptoms, and act accordingly. But instead, these people have so much power, and it's clever spell work, but they have so much power through their words, through their codes, through their propaganda. They've had so many people in their droves giving them the opportunity to carry on with this narrative, to carry on with this spell. because they could only do that through the testing aspect of the spell if people turned up, to get tested, if people didn't, if people weren't refusing. So they had enough of the numbers to be able to cook the books. And now we've got people actually falling for the narrative. We've got people actually looking at the unmasked like a germ, just the germ incarnate, the germ with shoes on. The cognitive dissonance is so real. And again, you can lay blame at the feet of these so-called powers that be. You can put blame there for them acting so nefariously. But at the same time, it all comes back to self. It all comes back to, why did we give them the space to fulfill this narrative? Why did we sweep and mop the stage and then fill up the stage in lines to give them the numbers to play with in the first place? Why did we do this? We've got to get to the point where we know now they cannot be trusted. Worldwide, they cannot be trusted. And so we've got to stop entering into these spells unconsciously, giving them the material to play with, to bind people up even more. So it was just a quick note to say that, and to try and start to help people get out of this spell now, to see beyond the illusion of it, and seek more truth and seek more connectedness with themselves, so that even in your individual life, whether it's as small as that pesky little person who we've all got, who says, "Oh, are you okay? Please stay safe. Please be quiet, be safe. Are you okay? You need to rest." Even if that just gives us a way round of using that energy to propel us even further in our greatness that day, or whether it just stops this narrative from continuing to roll out, because I feel it, they've got so much up their sleeve to roll out that is very similar to what we've seen already. Absolutely fooling people into not knowing themselves so much that they will doubt whether they're poorly or not, and go and fill up the stage for them, giving them the materials, the numbers to play with, in order to fulfill the illusion that they've been fulfilling. So I appreciate you all for listening. Much love, stay balanced and stay whole. Mwah.